Okay, let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I love on a Friday night? I absolutely love a banger like this.
Oh, wrong button. Here we go.
My bad, guys. I'm sorry about that. This is a song I meant to actually play. Schmidt Show.
Fits good though.
I love this song, guys. I went to the Lions game, and honestly, this song, I should turn it down a little bit more. They hadn't played in a long time. Why don't they play that song anymore?
I don't know. It fits well though.
Dude, honest to God.
No matter what you're doing.
I agree. It's like just bring some energy to the.
No matter what, it just boosts the vibe.
Yeah.
Gets
So
you
it's
going.
like you bring it back up. It's like, and then I put a little top behind it. I love that. I used to play hockey. You guys play hockey ever?
Never
Football.
hockey.
You know what? Actually, great football warm-up song though.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Dude, I think almost any sport. But the thing is, I haven't heard that song in so long that it just it reminded me of something, and it's like, okay, I had to go to a Lions game for about like 20 years, and I haven't heard that song in that long since the Shark days.
Yeah.
I feel like if anybody hears that song, it's just let's just go fire it up.
Dude, isn't it? It's a sports anthem. We know that, right?
100%.
Okay,
Start to
so
a good weekend.
okay, we're at the Schmidt Show. We have Heath and Kyle Raleigh. We finally got them both on. It took me a long time to do this, and I think it was just by chance I got them here. I needed some plumbing parts because my lines froze, and so I got them now, and we took care of that. And so finally, here we are. You guys are entrepreneurs. We talked to you, Kyle, last week, and we haven't really had a chance to talk to Heath yet. I really want to go over something with you. I want to briefly do something right now, just something small, and what you do in the community now, and kind of like give us like a 5-minute scenario story of what you're doing right now.
So, a little bit of background. I started plumbing about 10 years ago. Worked at All Solid Plumbing in Kingsville.
Yeah.
And then
I remember that.
picked up a lot of side jobs. And then
Well,
just-
you started at Grossi, right?
Grossi to start, yeah. But I mean, All Solid to start my apprenticeship. And then,
You need an apprenticeship to get a license, right?
yeah, 4-year apprenticeship.
Sorry, that was
3 years
supposed
of
to be a
school.
joke. Nobody laughed, but that's okay.
And then,
Tough crowd.
yeah, side jobs started rolling, and then we started getting busy, taking on houses. One of my good buddies just built a brand new house, and that was pretty much the start of it. He asked me to do the plumbing, and then gave him a quote on it.
Yeah.
Got a few guys there, and we banged it out in 2 days, and you just saw the money we were making. And then, yeah, it kind of worked out my favor because my brother here, he's got his gas
Yeah,
license.
you guys are like hand in hand in business. We talked about that, like
100%.
HVAC and your gas license, and then you plumb. Like, I literally like it's a dying breed, I think, in both your industries because nobody wants to go in attics. Nobody wants to go in crawl spaces. To be honest, I had to do that today. I did your job.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm not a professional by any means, but I know enough to navigate a little bit with that. So I had my water wasn't running, so I called you, blah blah, whatnot, and that's why we got him here and whatnot. So, but going ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It goes hand in hand because people are always talking about you can't own being in business with your family, this and that, or you can't do a partnership. But we grew up together. We were
It's
my mom.
tough. I've done the brother thing, dude. We didn't make it.
Yeah.
I was ready to kill him.
I mean, people say that, but when me and this
But you
guy-
guys were like that though too. Like you guys had some hardships from the beginning.
we did 100% financially, obviously,
we
just to
did.
start.
No, but even though like working together, like I know you guys love each other. You're twins.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when me and my brother, I got him in the business early on, and we were 50-50 partners. But I honestly, you know what I told him? I said, I'd rather love you than kill you. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But you guys have seemed to work. I remember, because I watch you guys. We're good buddies anyway, so I see you guys a lot. And from a while ago to now, I'm not saying that it was ever bad or anything like that, but you guys have figured out a way to make this work.
I just realized I couldn't do it without him. I mean, it's no matter what. He has a job or I have a job, and
Dude, you have a really sexy voice. You know that right now. I think it's the mic, though. Honestly,
deeper,
my
though.
mic must be somewhere wrong my mic. I don't know for sure.
hopefully my girlfriend hears this. I'm going to show her that and tell
Me
her
and
you
him
said
have
that.
the same mics, and he's got the good one, Heath. That's what it is. It's the mic. It's not him. man.
bigger too.
No, but it's no matter, like, I couldn't do it without him. Like, no matter what, if I have a job or he has a job, he helps me out or I help him out. He's got majority of the work for now.
Yeah.
We're just getting going, but
that comes along, right?
That's
and,
it.
And
Yeah.
I was talking to you guys. I'm like, you guys are first year entrepreneurs, right? You might be in your second year, right? I think you started more in last year or year before.
you've been doing it for a while.
2.5. He's
Yeah,
a year
okay.
and a half each.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you're still early on.
100%.
And for the time that we are in, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a developer here locally, Anthony. Anyway, we were in the truck yesterday, and we were just going to the job site looking at certain things. And he said, Dave, he said, like, he's a big developer. He goes, I remember the recession 2008, and he says that was bad. He says I've never been this like slow. It's like he's got his guys. He wants to keep them working because you don't want to lose your guys. We talked about that earlier too, as well. So where we are now, and I'm talking about you guys to have work in your industry. You guys are lucky enough that if something breaks, I know it's unfortunate for others. I get that. Just like a tree falls on somebody's house, and I don't want to wish like harm on nobody by any means. I don't want that to happen anyway.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, someone needs to take care of it. So if you don't have heat in the winter, your pipes freeze, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, who are they going to call? Now, if your quality's good and people know you, they're going to call you. 100%. And it seems like you guys have been doing a pretty good job.
You know what? Actually, we since the day like we went on our own or whatever, like we have not had a day off. So we're thankful for that. I'm obviously really thankful for that. We even waking up one day, looked at each other and being like, "Where are we going today?" So
You know what? And you're like, I wasn't like my first year. I had to go hand out flyers.
yeah,
And you're lucky in that regard. But I think that you guys are the type of you have personality where you guys would actually like say you didn't work. You would say, hey, look, say maybe there's a plumber that needs some work, or you know what I mean, like for hourly, if you had to for that little bit of time, drop your pride and go to work hourly.
Or
like
even
don't be that guy. You know what I mean?
I talked to you the one day. We were slow for I think maybe 1 or 2 days, and I'm like, "Do you have work?" And you're like, "Yeah, you can come work with me whenever." We're just those kind of guys where it's like, no matter what. Like we talked about my dad saying, "You guys got to wake up like every day with purpose, right?"
I love that.
You need to wake up and go to work, right?
You know what? Your parents, like I said, I ran into your mom at the LCBO, and honestly, she was so proud of that video, and you weren't in it, but now you're here. So, and she was like, I think she's the proudest. Your parents are the proudest moms because you guys are good kids, and you can tell you love your parents.
Yeah.
You can tell they raised you well, even though you caused a lot of shit.
A lot of my dad's gray hairs from us.
You know what though? But that's high school days. We talked about that. You know what I mean?
100%.
It is what it is. But it's nice to relish in that once in a while, talk about those stories and you have a few pops, whatever.
We'll go there, have a couple beers with my dad, and he's like, "Yeah, you guys definitely a couple sleepless nights with you too, but you know what? You pulled through, and you're doing good now."
As a parent, I'm a parent. I know you guys already have, but man, the kids. I don't want my daughter's a little bit late, and she doesn't party at all. You know what I mean? And it's like, but at the same time, I'm like, where are you, kid? It's like 1 o'clock. Like she dates and whatnot, but I trust her. Don't get me wrong. I just want to make sure that she's okay. So she leaves her thing on for me. Her what do you call it on your phone? Where you are?
Location,
yeah. Just to make, and she doesn't have to. She offered, which was nice.
That's responsible.
Anyway, I want to go back to this. So with the business growing, okay, is it like, how are you doing as far as like clients? Is it getting, because I know a lot of people will work for dirt cheap when they start, right?
So it's crazy because everybody's got their opinion on how you should do it, this and that. But for us, we'll go, if we line up a week of service calls, we're seeing over 30 clients a week, right? So
it's hard to get to everybody though.
100%. You know,
sometimes you have to cancel
as long as you're reaching
emergency
out,
stuff.
You reach out, you tell them what's going on, this and that. You got an emergency call, you can't be there. You got to keep them. You got to let them know. But to see if you own like a business where you go there like a construction company where you're just doing strictly the bathroom, you're there for 2 weeks straight.
It's one job, one client. That's
as opposed to us, we're going to 30 different houses in a week.
Well, I can only imagine frozen pipes like today.
Oh, it's insane.
Do you know what I mean? Like you are, and then I get it, supply and demand. I know business a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you go where you go, and then they beg you to come because they have a problem that they can't fix.
Exactly.
And that's why we have people like you guys, plumbing, like I said, and HVAC and gas. But like I said, that goes hand in hand. Now, saying that, supply and demand, the hardest thing for me is when that happens, when a storm happens, I have to cancel the person that I had before. And for the most part, they understand.
Yeah.
But not everybody. Exactly. And it's like, I'm pulling a tree off a house that's got a hole in it. that's getting damaged. Well, they have to do some work, and it's not emergency work, but I mean their tree is hurting or whatever it is. Yeah. It's not like doesn't have to be done right away.
Yeah.
So 99% of people understand that. Some don't. How do you handle that? How do you guys handle that?
You just gotta take it as it is, I guess.
It's tough.
We can plan every Sunday. We get together and we plan our whole week out.
Yeah.
And just
really.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Every job that we're going to.
Wow.
Financially, this and that, and then. But the thing is, so you can be at a roughing in a house, right? It's got an inspection in 2 days.
Everybody, it's some figures. There's a wrench always thrown in.
A client calls and says, "Our house is flooding. We got old Kitech plumbing or this and that. You got to go." That job can take anywhere from an hour to 10 hours, depending on what you got to rip out. This and that, cut drywall, do whatever. But then your whole day's a write off. So then Monday's job that you're at that day, Monday, is moved till Tuesday. That goes to shit.
Yeah.
So Monday's job that you're not doing Tuesday takes an extra 2 days.
It's like a Schmidt show. It's a Schmidt show.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Then your whole schedule's pushed. And
I know. Trust me, I know
the
about it.
The main thing I feel is like we talked about is communication and just being able to like tell people you're going to be there and be there. But at the same time, like the industry we're in, it's really tough.
I believe
and
that.
it is. And it's.
Is there, okay, but competition wise, I always see you guys work. So, like I said, you're pretty fresh entrepreneurs. And you're doing well for yourself. You know what helps? You guys are local and grew up local here. I mean, other than the fact that I could throw you out for living on the island for 3 years and being raised there, that was my joke when I had him on. But I didn't know that. I had no idea that you guys did that. But anyway, being local here and people know you, and I've gotten connected to a few different people now that I'm trying to grow this channel and about entrepreneurs and like where it took you, and like we talked about that. And then again with Heath, sorry, Kyle, I know it's hard.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I know. I just want to know a little bit with Heath too. Like,
that's fine.
What was your story?
He started the whole thing, so let's.
You know what? I watched it all, and like with you, what happened? What broke the camel's back for as far as like you starting your own business? What'd you do? What happened?
Started doing side jobs, and then.
Like on the weekends, stuff like that?
Yeah, after hours of work, people started reaching out to me because I was obviously doing plumbing at their houses, working for my previous company. And then one thing led to another. It got to a point where I got so busy. I remember a guy calling me to switch his toilet out. And I had no idea when I can be there. And I just told him a random price. And he's like, yeah, let's do it.
And then you're like, wow, it's almost illegal to make that kind of amount of money.
100%, definitely. So then
but that's on the side. That's cash, right?
Exactly.
Like,
told him a day I'd be there.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I told him I'd be there, and I went there, and I'm like, I just made this type of money in that amount of time. Like, are you kidding me?
I know.
It's half my paycheck in 2 weeks.
But at the same time, you can't replace skill set, and you got to know your worth, right?
100%.
So, and then I always say, like, if I could go back to those days sometimes and still work and then do those side jobs, that was the best profitable days I had because I counted a paycheck, and I wasn't committed. But then again, we're entrepreneurs. Once you taste it, I don't think you'll. It's hard to go back. I don't know. For me,
you see it at first, and it's like, okay, yeah, like wow, this is gonna work.
I remember when things got tough, and then he was gone with his girlfriend. I think. And I remember I called my buddy Hayden, and I told him, and I'm like, dude, I cannot do this shit anymore longer. He's like, dude, you gotta wake up every day, look yourself in the mirror, just pick. I'm gonna fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is who I am. I'm gonna make this work no matter what. You know what I mean? So then. I respect for somebody to start out on their own. If I didn't have him, I'd be out west in an oil rig right now. There's not a chance I'd still be doing this shit. No, because I couldn't do it without him. I couldn't.
Good for you guys. You know what? You guys got a bond. I think twins have a special. I think family have bonds no matter what, brothers, sisters, whatnot. But it's amazing that you guys. I see the interaction. You know what I mean? I'm glad that, and it's the percentage of family businesses working out is very, very, very low. Okay. And you guys have found a way.
We've talked to other brothers and like, oh no, we couldn't do that.
No,
there's no way.
I've done it. Me and my brother, he's stuck on his way and he won't give.
Yeah.
And then for me, I climb trees and I was training him and then he wouldn't listen. And he's like, his way was the way. And I don't want to say it's wrong or right, but I don't want to be the guy going home and saying to his wife that, hey, your husband's not there anymore. So
100%.
And not only that, there's different arguments about everything.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where like you literally want to just strangle the throat.
And it's crazy because like when he started it, I remember I helped him out with the job on the side and he got paid and I'm like, wow, like, and I'm like,
yeah.
So what are you gonna pay me an hour? And he was like, oh no, if we're doing this together. And he
You know
was
what,
like, half
that's-
this years, and I'm like,
You know what? And that's
Wow.
and not many people do that.
No.
I know I did that with my brother too, because I thought even though like I had the investment, everything in, it was my brother coming in, and he just I love my brother, and I knew he would work hard, and he's good at what he did, like, and so he's a great maintenance guy. So, but going forward from there, like keep going, like when you guys got started, it's so hard to keep it. It's easy to start. Like I said this the last time, to start a business and you're all pumped. The stress, okay, but the stress is hard, man. Especially at first. Like we talk a lot about that, and I remember when I was like first getting in it, and it's still there. I know how to handle it better now. It's almost like you got to schedule, like you said, on Sunday, but that doesn't always work. When something doesn't work out, like I overthink like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that was never there though when you guys had 8-hour jobs and you were doing side jobs like putting a toilet in or whatever that was, because it was what it was and you could do it on your time. But now you're responsible for your work. I mean, not that you weren't before, okay? But now it's serious because now the town knows you, right? They knew you before, and now they know that you're doing this.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you do a good job, but so you're almost like, for me, I know that I'm almost too picky sometimes, but I want my word to have value.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean? So how do you handle that?
You got to take it all in stride. I guess it's extremely hard. There's days that we drive home and the radio's off, and both just looking straight out the window like, what the fuck just happened today?
Yeah.
And when you
Keep the F-bombs down, just so you know. That way, sorry guys, it probably will be edited. I'll just beep it, but
sorry.
I should have said that before, because I really want to keep it clean, because YouTube really they do well. You monetize easier, and it won't, whatever, long story short, if you keep your language somewhat clean, shit's okay. I don't mind that. You got to show you're real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I want a clean channel for people.
100%.
You know what I mean? But anyway,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not judging you, because we both cuss around here and there, right?
Yeah, totally.
Once in a while.
100%. No, but there's you can wake up and you get texts from clients that they're all upset with you because the job's not done or this and that.
Yep.
You give them a set date that it's there, but I tell you, when you think your day is not going to get any worse,
You guys work a ton.
Yeah, we've been going 7 days a week.
No, I know. Not only that though, but you're always working, man. But I remember those days, and people don't. And let's go back to that. Like when you get into it, they don't see the hours that is put in to the work that you guys do. Yeah. And I know when I started, it was 7 days a week. I worked on Mother's Day, Father's Day. I worked on every single holiday except for, I think, Christmas. And I remember the one client's like, "Don't you have family?" And because he was surprised I was going to come out, I'm like, "I do, but I'm starting my business." And I was so committed, and I didn't want it to fail.
Yeah.
And I took every opportunity I had, because I was taught that everything's an opportunity, a phone call. So
That's that mindset, though, right?
Yeah. But I've learned how to slow that roll a little bit. So, but you guys are newer, and I get it. It takes so much hard work to get to that point.
It's a ton of learning. Like people, it kills me because people think that you're going to start a business, you're going to make all this money, this and that. Like the first 5 years, you're literally all the money you make. Unless you got
going back into it.
It's literally like you go to a job.
Yeah.
You quit a job for $1,200 to redo a line that's exiting out the building. Well, you need a $1,200 drill to do that.
Exactly.
You're not going to bill them for the drill. You got to buy that, eat the money, and then you know what I mean. You make it up on the next
$1,200 is nothing. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah,
for one
100%.
little thing.
It is.
And like the tools, and not just that, what you bring, your knowledge.
The problem solving.
I saw what you just did in my. He just came actually and fixed what'd you put in, a 1/2-inch shut off?
Yeah.
So we thought the water line was off, and it wasn't the main, and it came out like bam, and literally the experience, he just was somehow able to navigate it and then put that thing on and have it shut off within seconds. We were both a little bit wet, but honestly, if that was me, and I'd be making a run for it, and I'm like, okay, or finding every lever I could find to try to switch off. But that's your expertise. That's what you know. Your reaction under stress was incredible. I was really surprised.
But that comes with the experience.
Exactly. That's what you pay for. That's what you pay for.
And you know what people don't get too? Like you go to somebody's house and it's like their sink faucet could just be dripping water. Okay, well, like any standard Moen faucet or whatever, Delta, whatever brand it is, there's different, obviously, cartridges to each faucet. it takes 5 minutes to do that. You get your hourly rate, this and that. And
Doesn't
then-
matter. You have to set up to go do it. You got your time, and then not only that, when it's supply and demand, say it's on the weekend, that happens.
100%.
Like you're taking up your time, your family time.
You don't pay
a
somebody
5-minute fix took 10 years to learn to do in that amount of time,
so
right?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah.
twin telepathy right there. Yeah, we're just about to.
You know what? That is, and most people understand that. So when I started to know the difference, I started to advertise through the South Point Sun here locally in Leamington, and Mallory really steered me the right way, like with marketing, and like once you get your name out there, and the people don't say it, they know your value. If you've done a good job, you get in that marketing paper, and not only that, word of mouth, the clientele you'll build off a good job off that
100%.
goes more further than anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Social media, you can only post so many things, man.
That is too, and my biggest thing too. You know, you're not.
The paper's not dead. It's still real, and people
Oh, yeah.
don't always go to the internet, man. Like
100%.
we have people that only do the paper, you know, and then they look at it, and honestly, that's where my best clients come from. They're the best people,
guaranteed.
literally.
I almost, and that's another thing too. Like social media can be so good, but you get somebody that's upset that instead of just posting it on, you know, all you got to do is reach out because you do a business, you do it for your name. You know what I mean? You do it because you enjoy doing it. If you're upset, reputation.
See, you get a bad review. Okay, so this happens sometimes on your page or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
I know I have a friend that owns a tree company as well, and he can't handle one bad review. I think I have one bad review. I don't know what they said. They said I didn't show up or whatever, or I didn't call it. Maybe that was the truth. I don't know. It's been so long. But I don't know whose fault it was, mine or them, because it was that long ago. And I said, the worst thing you can do is to react to someone like saying that about you, because that's their right to do that. But more than likely, people like that, you don't work for everybody that's going to be great.
No.
99% of your clients are probably pretty good, aren't they?
For the most part, like everybody's out to make
There's
a living.
always a bad apple. And honestly, what I told him was, I know you're going to be angry. No, I did this for that reason, because you did that, and you didn't pay me for it. They forget to add these things, and that's blah blah blah. Whatever it is, what I tell my friend that owns that company, I said, don't react. I said, you'll just put fuel on the fire, and then that only gets to a bigger conversation, and then people get to see that, and then it just be, you don't want that.
Any comment that gets posted on a business page too, you can't delete. So it's there forever. If you're upset about a job, all you gotta do is just reach out. You know, it's our name on the job.
Yeah.
We're here.
You're not there to screw anyone.
Everybody wakes up every morning and makes a living. They got kids. They got stuff to
100%.
pay. You know what I mean?
And you're human too, and you also
Hey,
make mistakes.
I've got canceled on all the time, and I realize it. Like, some people will say that too, but at the same time, like with clients, like they'll say, Dave, the night before, like, I've changed my mind. I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is, right? But I don't go on Facebook or on
100%.
and rip these people because whatever, they had a reason. Who knows what happened in their life? Someone might have passed. I don't know. I don't want to ask that.
Yeah.
You don't know. But they don't know what's going on there either. So that's why I just said, you know what? When you respond like that, it's not good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
For the most part, I leave it alone. If you want to react to them respond to them, then do it socially or by yourself, like quiet, like not online.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when if that's what the case is.
Oh, it's like you're posting online and there's thousands of people seeing it too, right? So one bad review, people that don't even know you are automatically like, oh yeah, don't hire these guys. When really it's like,
So you know what? At the end of the day, I almost sometimes I only, like I said, I only have one bad review from years ago, and I almost want to just shut off the comments anyway. I don't know why, but I love, since I've gotten to know the South Point Sun, and they've really taught me how to market a lot.
Yeah.
But I can't, because I can't leave that group either. Do you know what I mean? It's not that I'm worried about my name. I'm not. But it's hard to deal with people that think that they devalue what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And they don't know why and what, you know, and the public doesn't. So we're going from there. That's a hard thing to handle.
100%.
So when you're first in business, and I love this one because you guys are like the perfect like example of like entrepreneurs that are just getting in. You've been in, and you're learning. Okay, how was this for you guys when I started? And I'm just gonna be honest. When the money came in, and you know how you work on the side, and when the money was coming in, and it was incredible. And I'm like, no, I got it. I was always paying. for whatever we were doing, going out for dinner, going out for lunches, whatever who I took out. Because I could do it finally. Because I always lived paycheck to paycheck before. So 3 months of that, maybe 4, it stopped. So it was materialistic for me. So I was so happy with that I was making money that I could actually help, I could always pick up the bill. That was my biggest thing. But was that ego? Probably a little bit, I think. Yeah. And was that being nice? Yeah. But I make sure that I would do it.
But you made that happen though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah,
you worked for that.
I did. But at the same time, it stopped though. It stopped feeling good to make the money. It's okay. So what happens is the money will start to build up in the bank account, and now you're asking yourself, okay, so this is buying meals and buying nice cars or motorcycles or whatever you're buying. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. You got the money to do it. It stopped for me. And so, and then business, anybody that will, you ever watch like any kind of YouTube business guy or whatever influencer that made it, they'll tell you that. And then you need to find what to do with your money, where to put it. Either you reinvest, you have to. I always think you should reinvest in your business no matter what, because, but there should be a spot where, I don't know, like for me, it's like invest into something. I don't know how much risk you want to take, but there's more money as an entrepreneur. You'll know that there's more money to be made because you have it now and it's building up, and maybe you can put it somewhere else, not in your business, somewhere else where, like I've done with my podcasting, I'm not making any money off it yet. And if I don't, that's okay. But if I do, I put a lot of money in the studio, right?
Yeah.
But I put it here because I want for myself. And now I see it as a potential of renting the space out for other future podcasters. You need to find that, because I don't know if you guys are at that stage yet, but man, I'm telling you, that shine wears off like anything else does.
Like you and I were talking about, you said you start a business and you chase the money. You chase the money, and then once you get the money, you're like, that's not the solution. You know what I mean? You see the money come in, you're like, I was chasing that.
It's the journey, right? And then when you get it, it's good at first, but after that, it's like, then what?
Yeah.
You know when it matters? The family matters then. For me, family, my nephews and nieces, I love them so much. Before, I'm not going to say I didn't love or nothing like that, but I was number one all the time. Yeah. I was full of ego, man, and that's just who I was. Like I've gone through, I flipped the page here a little bit. Like I've gone through some, I've done a couple, I'll be honest, some rehabs back in the days, going back 10 years ago, because 10-year business is coming up this year, early next, somewhere in that area. Anyway, that's when I opened my eyes to like, okay, all I ever thought about was me and how I would make it. And we talked about this earlier, and I never really thought about other people. And that's okay, because I just wasn't living the lifestyle that I should have been living, and to know better. So that's why life kicked me in the ass, man. Yeah. I started doing things I shouldn't do. I got involved in some heavy stuff, and then I needed to get help. I've lost everything. Like 10 years ago, I didn't have nothing. I always say I had $10 to put in my brother's car that he lent me to go see my kids. Yeah. Rock bottom. I have a video on that. And I might make another one. I have to actually do a bio, because we're actually going to launch this channel officially really soon. Rock bottom, and they don't need to get there, but man, I was there. I was there with you can't say certain things on YouTube because they're just not allowed to be said. They'll just rip it away from you. But I was there, and so it took that to teach me how much my life needed to change. Yeah. For me not to worry about money anymore. I shouldn't say worry, but now I'm worrying about where I should put it so I can monetize it off maybe investments or whatever.
That's the goal, right?
It is. And then like literally at first I was so happy with the money, but it wore off. I never thought that would happen, and I couldn't believe it. And any business person that's been in business and successful will tell you that.
100%.
Yeah.
I was in the same boat too. Like you start making money, and then you want to be this big share. You go out, buy this, buy that, and then you just watch it all just
disappear.
Snowball effect. Oh yeah, 100%. And then you wake up and you're like, what in the hell's going on? But you got to realize when it's just same boat. Obviously, when I was in the exact same boat as you.
Well, okay, so What happened? Too much partying? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Lost a lot
just
of
give
shit
her.
in my life. You know what? And I'm thankful that I had him. My girlfriend.
I lost a lot of stuff in my life many times over and over again, man.
And you watch it without it even. You don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? You're not in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
And
Just to be cool.
You know what? Oh yeah, 100%.
Just to be that guy. I
came-
thought that was the meaning of life, to be the coolest
Exactly.
person on the planet.
100%. You're making all
Impressing
this
people
money.
that don't care about you.
And they, you know what? Honestly, they look at you and they're like, okay, you know what? And I'd offer to buy all the drinks and everything.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I didn't have no money, but I wanted them to think it.
100%.
Like, how crazy is that thinking?
It's materialistic, right?
What are you living for? If you
And at the end of the day, guys, honestly, for me, I'm gonna be honest. That thinking is still there, like sometimes. So I have to check myself sometimes. That's why I make sure the people I hang around with, like, I make sure that they keep me grounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like my family, and realistically, they're good. And I don't want to go back to that. But the ego is always there. How good does it feel when this is not really ego, but how good does it feel when a client tells you how good of a job you did and they love your work?
Oh, yeah.
And that alone is almost worth as much as the paycheck.
Oh, it is guaranteed. Without happy client, you know, and that's what people say. Like, you're in business to make money, but ideally, if you don't have happy clients, there is no money. You know what I mean? You gotta have that to make the money. So at the end of the day, it is all about reputation, how you treat your customers, and
The quality of your work will say so much, man.
Like for us, it's adamant. Like if whether we're in $1 million home,
Yeah.
or we're roughing in a new build, a fire job,
Yeah.
12-inch crawl space, and we're running water line, those are straight. All our strains are strapped every 4 feet.
well,
spacers.
like you and I were talking about the other night. Like, do it how you do it in your home.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
and that's
take pride in what
that's
you do.
a saying that's been around for, I think, a long time.
How
And
would you want it done?
It's for most people. There's a lot of businesses out there that don't do it, and for them, but they still make it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not talking about anyone around here. I'm just saying, like, overall. But the biggest business that survive are the ones that put the quality in, that care, and that's why I don't want to reach a certain level where I have to delegate my work too much because I lose the quality. I don't want to be a micromanager either. So I just want to make sure that I have the right crew, and that starts from the top, right, guys? And so if I don't train them right, and I don't know, like, I want my quality to be there, and if it's not there, then I can't. My name doesn't carry itself anymore. Then we're not getting retention rates anymore, like YouTube, like the videos. I compare it to that.
Yeah.
If your channel's not great, if your videos aren't doing well, it's because you sucked at doing it. You don't have the right equipment. First off, you don't have good sound. You don't have good video. But you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't, say you're a great hockey player, but you don't have an ice rink, you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So that starts with that. So I figured that part out. But now, if you don't study your content a little bit and then have some kind of a whatever, if you're good at off the cuff, that's great. This is kind of what that is. But we talked a little bit about what we're going to do. So you got to be prepared. That goes a long way, and and the personality of it. People know when you don't try.
100%.
And that's why, that's why I compared to podcasting, because I watch the videos of what doesn't do well, and I can see where I shortcutted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And even when you're doing the work, it's like, you could have done it better, and it's going to bite you in the ass.
And it's good enough, don't get me wrong, but if you want retention, you want returning viewers, you want returning customers, do your best. I mean, don't go broke, but do the best that you can, and then quote it right.
Yeah.
And then that's where a lot of people will fail.
I would honestly rather, if I quote a job to do a kitchen sink drain or whatever, got to rough a bathroom in, I would rather lose money on that job knowing that I can go home when I leave that.
I've done it. I've had to.
That
Yeah.
it's done right.
I've
instead of
quoted a
going
job like
home
that.
wondering, oh my God, is that going to leak? Or is this, you know what I mean?
I mean, has that happened a few times?
Multiple times.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. Go ahead, Kyle.
I got to just go to the washroom.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, we'll edit that out maybe. Kyle's got to go.
I'm sorry.
To the bathroom.
Man, I'm sorry about that.
I know, we'll take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Schmidt Show. Part 2, I guess. We had to take a little break there. Kyle had to go to the bathroom. I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, that's what it is, right?
Too long. What made you want to start doing podcasts?
You know what? Honestly, that's a great question.
Like, what made you want to start the Schmidt Show?
Okay. Don't you guys? Okay, so this is how I feel about it. When I can't watch, I have no like retention for. I'll watch a video a little bit of something, no matter what it is, and I get bored. And that's a problem with social media. Our attention span is nothing. But when podcasts started coming out, and especially like with mental health a little bit, and inspiring people, that made it, and I could listen for hours, and listen and do whatever I want to
Like
do.
listening to people's life stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go to bed like that. I actually listen to stories going to bed. I want to hear real, authentic, actual, like, stories.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. It keeps me up. Actually, it does the exact opposite. But then I get to a point where I get so tired. So going back to your question, though, that's kind of why. So it took me a long time. And I had somebody come in here yesterday and say, you're doing what everybody aspires to do, but doesn't want to. They don't want to be. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be. They don't want to take that chance to be a failure. There's no failure here. Like for my show, sorry guys, the only way you can fail is if you quit. So I've got so much invested now, and that was nice to hear from her because but I did it for myself.
No.
And
That's all you got to do.
all I know is I've always been told that you're very like I've always been very vulnerable as far as like what I talk about, like my journey. And I'm not an aggressive guy as far as like I don't care for much for like confrontation. It takes me a lot to get mad, like a lot. Very rare do I get like really upset. If I get upset, I'll get actually like more sad. That's just my personality. But saying that, I learned a lot off these stories that people were talking on their podcasts, and they were talking about their lives. I'm like, man, that'd be cool to do, to get on one of these shows or something, but being shy. And then I started to build this a little bit. So that's kind of, I don't know if that really answers it,
No, the answer's for sure.
but it wasn't for, okay, here's the real answer too, though, that I've realized. I always talk a lot, and I'm the guy that will, I shouldn't say it that way, but kind of cut you off and then say my thought. You know what I mean? So I had to learn how to listen. Like, this is being vulnerable to me. I'm being honest about my life. And so now I'm actually like listening to you guys and asking questions, and I want to hear your story. That was never me before, guys. Like, I would listen, and you might have actually fell for it. And I actually would, but I couldn't wait to get my word in.
Yeah.
Can you identify with that?
Yeah.
100%.
Like, that's hard for people to admit, man. I think we all have that a little bit in us. I'm not saying we're toppers. Do you know what I mean? You're not that topper guy where every story, you know, when you go to a party and there's this guy, he's got something better than you, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And it could be anything. And it's like, well, I did this and I did that. And I'm like, really? Okay, whatever. And it's just like, I don't want to say I was that guy, but I would listen, but I couldn't wait to get my point across.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Anything.
No, I know that, but I mean, at the same time, enough to know that certain people that paid attention, they see it,
Yeah.
and YouTube viewers do too, and they'll see what's authentic or not. And admitting that kind of vulnerability, which is very like it's humility, right? That's what is the cure to that. So if I say that to you guys or to my viewers, that lets them know that that personality is what I'm working on. Yeah. And so that part of the show, it was hard for me because they said, Dave, if you're gonna have a podcast about interviewing entrepreneurs, you're asking the questions. Like, it's not about you anymore.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so I really try to actually, and it's helped me, like to actually listen and to hear your stories. But thanks for asking. You know what? I've never mentioned anything like that, and that's a great question. And you know what? That's something I might bring up later on with somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for this field of work, like not field of work or what we're doing, podcasting here. Like, what do you guys think of it?
I feel it can go a long way for anybody. You know what I mean? Anybody watching it, whether it's business or mental health.
But you have to want to do it. Like, you have to do it.
100%. Yeah, and you do got to do it. But whether you're talking about mental health, business, anything, family,
Content is everywhere. There's a niche for, like I say Star Wars. I'm not a big Star Wars fan.
yeah.
I know the shows, the originals. I watched them. I know who Darth Vader is. I know who whatever that guy's name is. The Hunter, whatever he is. Anyway, so I know what that is, but there's a niche for everything. Mental health, Star Wars, or just like making these YouTube or this live on air thing. These were 3D printed personally. Like I had somebody make these for me. Like
awesome.
They're actually like my drawing or whatever. I came up with the idea and he took it and made it for me.
Yeah.
So you could talk about that. You could talk about technical podcasting just on this thing alone, and people will tune in and get a lot of views if you know what you're talking about.
Or just getting like 3 people in a room and just being able to talk and
There
knowing
you
that
go.
you're just talking
Yeah.
and they're listening. It feels good to talk.
So now
Like,
let's talk about, okay, so now we're here. Now we know that any topic can be a conversation, right?
Absolutely.
And there's going to be an audience for that. Now, what's happened to me is a lot of people are like, yes, let's do it. I booked them, and it's okay. Let's not really book, because I keep my schedule open, because I've seen it too many times where people are ready to go on. They say yes, and I wait, and they don't show up, and in hopes that they do. And literally, like, it's depressing. Honestly, it's depressing, because sometimes you feel like you put so much time and effort into what you did, especially with the equipment that you have invested. But then I have to remind myself of why I did it. It was for me. You know what I mean? But then people are camera shy. That's when I started to find this out. That's why in paper, like ads, for like in my ad, you see my face, like for my business. Every ad in the paper, for the most part, you don't see their face. Real estate, you do.
yeah.
But none of the construction guys put their names, faces on it. I swear to you, put your face to that ad, and that's what I do. Game changer, game changer. So saying all that, it's I don't know. I love doing it, and I love I love that you guys came. It was deflating. It has been deflating, but then again, you have the people come out and something like this, and you get a good show, and it's like that's the high. You know, and then I float off that.
Absolutely.
But life's like that, guys. I always say, we said this, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Man, it's never going to be always great. And then when it goes bad, you have that person or whoever that is that you can lean on to talk to them and say, hey, this is my day today. I'm not feeling pretty sad. You called me out. He came here. He's like, you look sad. That's the first time you ever picked that out of me. I was shocked, because I remember someone didn't show up, and then he's like, hey, dude, you sad? That's literally what you said.
Yeah. Normally it's you calling us out the other way. You can read us like a book and be, what's going on today?
And I'm usually pretty, and everybody likes to, hide their vulnerability a little bit. I get that. But I wasn't hiding nothing that day. And I just didn't even realize I wasn't trying to hide. You could see it, eh?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I was so deflated. I was like, man, I was just like, when someone cancels so many times and they call you, and it's like, you're not even calling them anymore. And it's like, but don't get mad, don't get angry, because I don't want to feel fire like that. You know what I mean? So I have to get past that. You talk to people that you love, and
You can't change it.
because you're so emotionally involved, you don't see what's straight until the next day, and you feel like, okay, maybe blah blah blah, and then now we have this. You know what I mean? And this feels great.
100%.
I remember when I first did it with you. You and I were just sitting here, and I stopped by like you do every day, had some beers with you, talked about work, and we started talking, and you're like, you know what? Let's do this. I'm like, okay, nervous at first, and then we did it, and I'm like, Heath, you started this thing. Like, I was talking about our business. I'm like, you got to get on this and tell the story of how you started.
You guys
it, right?
have been apprehensive for a while, though. Like, it's taken some time for me to get you guys on.
And after I did it, I'm like, Heath,
And now we took a break, and now look at you. What'd you think of that first half?
It's phenomenal. Felt good.
You know what? It's almost warming, like the earphones. If you have the sound, like the sound that we have, and people have to experience that, because unless you've actually listened to these things and you have a professional sound, you don't know it.
Yeah.
But how much easier is it to speak on these? But then again, you have to have a guy that's going to be willing to talk about stuff too, right?
100%.
So, but this stuff makes the world go round, man.
Yeah.
I think it's good too. Like, if you're ever struggling or if you got just to voice your opinion, you know what I mean? You jump on here and you just talk. You know, that's
No one's judging. No one's judging at all. Just
You know what?
talk about you.
I did that. It's called, I have a podcast. I always say that. I have a show on my podcast. It's called The Struggle Behind the Mic. Podcasters something about a podcaster's struggle behind the mic where people don't see how much hours and time they put in because I've put in so much time into building this place and podcasting and growing that I haven't spent much time at home and I'm burnt out. Oh, yeah, podcasters burnout or something like that. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I literally was down and out. I was sitting here. I'm overworked with my business and taking care of this. I'm like, is it all worth it? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post this. I'm going to post behind the podcast, something like that. I can't, I'll look at it. But anyway, I posted that video, guys, and I wasn't in the mood to because I was sad, deflated. I'm like, this is the perfect time to show something like that. And I have it on my channel. It doesn't have a ton of views because it's kind of a sadder thing. But that video later on will, when people start to know you on YouTube, because some of these people have seen me for the first time now, like that I'm growing my channel.
It takes a while, probably,
Exactly,
right? Like
it does. But then they'll go back to the shows that they don't see, that they haven't seen yet from years ago. Yeah. Or that channel might have been a year ago, and then they see Podcasters Burnout. That's what it's called. It's only a 10-minute one, but you'll see me at my most vulnerable state where I talk about stuff where it's like I don't have no social life. This is all I do. The passion turned into working too hard and at what I love. Yeah. And then that's a thing. And I was realizing that I'm losing people in my life that over something I love so much that I'm so dedicated because I'm not one. I'm a guy. I'm an all in. I'm that guy. I want stuff done yesterday. That's who I am.
Yeah,
that's yeah.
You guys?
Guaranteed, 100%.
I can see it. We're both like three of us. Both like you guys are twins, man. So it's who I am, man. I want it done yesterday, man. I really do, and I have a hard time with that. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Like when something happens in your life. And you want, like, say it's a job. Say it's a good job. Like, when do you want it done? And it's like, you know, like, or something. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But all I know is if it's something good, I want it done yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that was with my addictions, too, back in the day. Yeah. Same thing. Like, right away, I want it, like, today. And waiting for that. Like, I don't want to talk about, like, specific, any kind of medication, drugs, whatever that is, alcohol, whatever. I just know that I have that personality to gravitate toward that. And when I was in that, and that's what took me down to that $10 car drive. You know what I mean? That story that I told, because I want it done yesterday and I'm willing to pay for it. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't have money to buy beers for everybody at that. I did, but it was always under the, what do you call it? Either the credit card or it was on my overdraft.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I was wearing Gucci clothes, you know, or whatever, or like Tommy Hilfiger, whatever.
Yeah.
On the outside, I looked good. Yeah. I looked like I had my life put together.
It's broken on the inside.
And I'm not saying that's different. Okay, it's different now, but that doesn't mean that I don't hurt today. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody hurts. Now, whether you show that or not, I think that's growth in a human being when they ask for help. I always say the word help is the fourth dirtiest letter word in life because no one likes to ask for it.
No.
They don't. Like, and it's just, that's who I don't know.
It's part of this generation too. Like people, it's all over TikTok, you know, like people that are just struggling, whether it's addiction or again, mental health, to go back on that, but
confidence,
anything, you know what I mean? You just gotta, at the end of the day, it's all going to work out for you. And you got to know that there's people there for you.
And that's another thing, like starting what we did, like when we first started, and I started with him, we started doing HVAC jobs and gas lines and stuff. Like the confidence I had compared to him, like, we would get jobs and he would be like, oh, just do it. And I'm like, well, I mean,
I remember that.
And he was like, no, he's like, we just do it. And I'm like, all right, like I got to build because he was doing a lot of me. He's like, build a confidence up, man. And like, that's why
he was ahead of you by 100%.
And he still is. Without him, I'm like,
but you've come along.
He's my best friend. And like, he's just every time he's like, no, man, like you got me. Like, it's just, and like, we feed off each other like that. Right. Like
everybody needs that when they start.
100%.
I know I did. I had people I had to lean on, you know, especially when you start. Like, it's so hard. And it's like sometimes it's bearing on whatever, but I'm glad that you had him to lean on. Seriously.
We'd get jobs and he'd be just do it. And I'm like, well, no, like let's just do it. But that's an entrepreneur mindset that he had. Like, you know what I mean? That got me.
Oh,
into
yeah,
it,
no.
where it's, you can do anything. Just put your mind to it.
As twin brothers, honestly, you two are complete opposites in ways, and then like in loving each other as brothers and doing anything for yourselves and for each other, you guys love probably more than anybody I know. Like, you guys are close.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Oh,
tight. Like, one guy's sinking, he's going in to help. You know what I mean? No matter what.
100%.
Like, it's just unconditional.
That's what I told him too. Like before I had him, see, I remember having like 18 jobs on the go. And driving around, and all these clients text me, when are you getting this done, when are you getting that done? And you're driving around in your own head the whole day. You're going to one job knowing you got 8 other ones you got to get to that day. Having somebody just to talk to, you know what I mean? Like, when there's days where I'm like,
helps.
dude, I legitimately can't mentally.
I remember that
handle
when you started too, you had a hard time. I remember you driving up to me and parked your truck, and you said something like, I might as well start throwing 20s out the window or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that, and I'm like, oh man, I remember when I was at that stage.
Yeah.
Because you got there, and it was like, why am I even working?
Yeah, it literally, man.
And it's like, but you needed that, and I think we all still need that at times.
Remember the one
ahead.
morning? The one morning you called me and you're like, dude, we got too much work, and he's like, I don't know, and I'm like, no, we're one more day, man. We're gonna keep going one more day.
You guys
like,
go hard, man.
We
I was
didn't go this
you know
far.
what? I
Like,
remember calling him. I was driving down the 401.
Yeah.
We had about 9 jobs on the go. Big ones, too. We're doing a massive house out on the lake in Leamington. Huge, 7-bathroom house. And I had so much on the go, and I didn't know where I was driving. I was going down the highway, and I ended up getting on the 401, and I remember calling him, and I was legitimately upset. And I'm like, dude,
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, to a point, like, I've been...
To him?
Yeah, I called him. No, not just a...
Oh, okay. Like,
Legitimately.
Like, were you mad or sad or
sad,
both?
because I'm like, I
Okay.
can't handle this, man. Like, I legitimately can't handle this. And he's like, pull over right now. So I pulled over, and he's like, we're gonna do it, dude. He's
Dude.
like, you got me.
See, most people wouldn't even admit that.
The sun was coming. I was about 7 in the morning.
Or
I was
do
headed
that.
to a job out in Comber. We're doing a water line changeover that was supposed to be done a week before, and he called me and he's like, we're gonna make this work. I promise you, he's like, just don't quit. And you know what? It's
but
still,
we got each other, man.
We haven't
I
even,
remember those struggles.
we
with you
haven't
guys.
even made it though. It's 2 years in. We haven't. But
Well,
we're
you've made it to a certain point.
we are never gonna quit though, no matter what.
No,
nothing
that's
is
the
gonna
thing.
make
We
us
shook
quit.
on it.
That's not on you.
No, no.
That you guys don't have that.
Nothing will make us quit,
You
though,
guys have that personality that in your blood that even like you fail, you get back up.
And
Man.
having our girlfriends too, though.
That's-
like,
I think-
without them, oh man,
Dude,
like,
100%. You need someone.
so
by
shout
your
out to our
side.
girlfriends.
Not only
Takes
that,
a
not behind you, by your side to help you.
It takes a
She's
huge
my number
factor.
one supporter.
You can go all day. You know, you don't get paid on a job. Somebody's not happy. This and that. You got to figure out a price that you're breaking even, if not losing. Then
Yeah.
you go home and she's there. She's happy as hell. But you had the worst day.
And
ever.
you're worrying.
You got to learn how to just shut that switch off, because you know what? No matter what, you go home. My girl, I know his girlfriend. They've been together for a while.
Yeah.
My girlfriend too, like the most supportive girl ever. No matter what, I know I got her at home,
that's
and I got
amazing.
him by my side. every
Having
single day.
someone like that supports you like
To
that
live with
on
an
your come
entrepreneur,
up, having someone
yeah.
that's-
Tough.
having someone that supports you like that on your come up is like money, something money can't buy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where she's with you when you're starting
The
out.
girls
so-
are, you know what? They're tougher than us.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, they can take like certain things, man. Like, I can't believe what they take. But for our women in our lives, and this is actually kind of good that we're touching on this, because literally I'll come home, she tells me about her days, I tell her about mine, and like she grounds me. Like, she puts a perspective on things, and then it's like if I've had a bad day, she knows how to make it a little bit better. And if I've had a great day, she's there to celebrate. And with entrepreneurship, there's no more of a job that goes up and down.
Oh, 100%.
You go from cloud 9 to like, or wherever China is down there, or it's just it sucks. But they're putting up with us.
I remember we went through like 2 really, really, really bad weeks.
What, financially, or just like
Oh,
jobs
my
that
God.
weren't paying?
Financially, oh my God, yeah, we didn't. It was brutal, and I remember I was laying in bed in the one morning, and I like woke. We usually at the shop for 7 in the morning, but I ended up sleeping in.
Yeah.
And I told Shay, we're laying in bed, and I'm like, I legitimately can't do this anymore. I'm not going to work.
I've been there too.
Cannot do this. Like I woke up to like 16 text messages about upset clients, this and that, and
That's the reality of the
she
entrepreneur.
woke up, walked downstairs, made waffles, came back upstairs. She's like, eat these, go shower, and you're going to go to work. You're not staying home. She's like,
Good
go
for
get
her.
it. You know what I mean? And then I called Kyle, and then he was already at a job.
Got the motor burning, and he was ready to go.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
100%. So
dude, that's a good story, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of you got a good girl, man.
For a girl to just sit there and literally come upstairs, stare at you, and be like, "You're gonna get out of bed.
You're
gonna
going
go
to work. And Helen's been that like with me too. And she's like, man, some days I've been that way, and it's like you're going to work. You're gonna make this happen, man. That's true vulnerability when you can say that.
It is,
and not be that tough guy. I'm just. You'll know that most of the world that I've talked to since I've started this, and the people that I do talk to, they're so sheltered and they want to be the toughest guy. And no, I don't. They won't mention that kind of stuff. And you guys did. Yeah. And that's great because that reminded me of that too. And that's a personal story that, but like, if you guys are like, entrepreneurs are hard to deal with. Like, we're not hard to deal with, sorry. But we go through so many ups and downs emotionally. Money affects you, especially at first. When you're starting out, you don't have much.
It is.
No.
You're living on a pipe dream, man.
You're living off your girlfriend.
You quit a job like me. Yeah, there you go.
I love that girl.
All right, I'm moving in.
Not anymore though.
Not anymore. When you
No. I know what you mean though. But with me with this podcast, same thing. You want to go ahead and say something?
Oh no. Yeah, it's just good though. You gotta have that support system behind you because to go home every day just by yourself and you constantly get those thoughts. Have a girl that just tells you it's all gonna be okay, and know that she is there no matter what.
Where would you end up if you didn't have her though, and had those thoughts? Maybe you're at the bar partying and telling those guys, right?
Exactly.
And then in the
wake
morning you're shit.
The mornings that you
Again?
wake up, you know what I mean, and it's snowing outside, and you look outside and it's a massive blizzard, and you're laying there with her, and you know that you're gonna go up, you're gonna go make money, and she's laying there warm in bed. You know, it makes it all worth it.
Do
you
it
know
for
what I
her.
mean? Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's dude. You guys. You're warming my heart here. We should have a Christmas tree here right now with some presents and, have the girls
Schmidt
come. Yeah, the
Christmas.
Schmidt Show Christmas. We should do a thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost bought a Christmas tree from Bins, man. You guys, okay, so saying that, you guys, okay, I'll go quick on this. Amazing Bins is on Amazon. Not a knockoff thing. It just returns in overstock. And you guys have never been there. I keep telling you, the plumbing tools, not tools sometimes, but I guess your people ask for certain things. I get it, but for so next to nothing, you have faucets, whatnot. They might be missing like an O-ring or something. I don't know. Or they could be perfect. You have to check it out one day.
What are the deals like though? Isn't it like a separate price, a different price every day?
Yeah, so it starts off on Saturdays when you have to cut your own boxes open. They start that way, and then if you buy whatever you buy is $20, no matter what, whatever that's in the bins.
Where
right?
do they get all?
It's overstock. It's overstock, and it's people that bring returns. Now that's the crazy thing though. When people return things, sometimes you'll see a headlight from a 2000 Mercury or 1978 Mercury, headlight that somebody put it in there. That's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen very often, but I've seen it. And you got to be careful. You look through the stuff, make sure every part's there, unless you can fix that somehow. But with you guys, I keep telling you, you go on that first day or second day, those faucets are gone.
Yeah.
Like, they're $400, $500 faucets, and I'm like, you guys aren't there. I'm like, you could be like, you buy that kind of stuff, and depending on what your, like with Heath especially, what your clients want, it's good to have some stock just to check out. You guys should check it out.
100%.
Yeah.
You check it out on a Saturday. That's their day here in Kingsville. Friday, it's the Schmidt Show. Literally, so it's dissolved, right? People have opened boxes and destroyed everything. So it's kind of like half here, half there. You don't even know what to do. So you're trying to put stuff together, but you're only paying $1.50 for whatever you buy. But we'll look at this. Some of the studio stuff that I bought here.
I remember I stopped by here the one day.
From there.
I stopped by here the one day, and I walked in here, and you had a bunch of stuff on your desk. Like, I just paid like $20 for all this.
Yeah.
And there was cable speakers. I'm like,
It's right up my alley, though.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then last weekend I made $500 on selling the stuff that I bought for $3, $6, $9, maybe
Can't go
$20.
wrong with that.
Well, the problem with that is I put a show on that too with Marketplace. It just sucks. Marketplace is like the shittiest Schmidt show there is, man. And it's like, have you guys ever tried selling in Marketplace?
Yeah, it's brutal.
So people don't show up, people don't call. You know how
I
it
sold
goes.
my Jeep. I had a jacked up Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
It was a TJ. I had it online for like 6 or
Oh, you were a Jeep guy? Did you wave to all the
Oh, I
girls
did
and
a
guys
Jeep
out
wave,
there?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you were a girl, they basically. You're like,
Girls liked it though.
Hey, I had a Jeep too. I gotta admit it. I did have a Jeep, but man, did I get made fun of. I had that 4-door Jeep, but I love that thing, man.
Yeah, yours wasn't the most reliable thing. We're driving down the 401, getting in fifth gear, and we're just
Was it big rough tires, mud,
the
and
6-inch
loud? You couldn't hear each other
rough
talk.
country lift on it. And
Wow.
big tires on it.
Big pimpin', eh?
Oh yeah, 100%. I actually play that song going down the floor.
No, I love
Pimpin'
it.
by
There's a
Jay-Z,
big
yeah.
surround
Yeah, but
system in
that's,
it.
who's that, Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put
He's
that thing
going
on.
to jail.
Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah.
As he should.
Yeah.
Put that thing on Marketplace for, I think it was like $6,500. I had like guys offer me like $1,900 for it. Bring you cash today for $1,850. I'm like, no.
Dude, the struggles.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
insane. Then they show up and then they
Try to
I got
lowball
3. Oh yeah, it's brutal. But,
Dude, I totally know what you're talking about because I go through that because last weekend it rained and weekends I don't work. I work here. I just do some shop work, keep up with maintenance and whatnot. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll post the stuff that I have.
Yeah.
So I have quite the stock going because I just buy things that, you know. So my theory is if I buy stuff, if I buy other stuff to sell, then it pays for itself if I have time.
Yeah.
And literally at first I'm like, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. But if it's raining or if it's a weekend and Helen's working, I'm not doing nothing anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well do it. So last weekend I raked it in. Like I literally like killed it. And my margin was like, but it's not like that every time. All of a sudden it just dies off. But then you really have to put up with all, like you just said. People will call, lowball you, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then my whole day was tied up with that.
Yeah.
So after that day, I just like, okay, shut it off for a bit. It's like I can't because I have a business to run.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This is my main thing. People are probably on there like, what's Dave doing? Is he liquidating his whole business? No, it's his marketplace. Sorry, it's Amazon bin stuff just to pay for what I bought there. I know. Honestly, I think about it, and I think about my podcast down the road, and as much as I hate Marketplace, it made me good money that day, man.
Yeah, exactly.
When did Amazing Bins open?
I don't know. I think it's been out for a few years.
Has it?
So they have a Windsor Place, which I heard is terrible, and I've been to the Leamington one, and it's not good. Kingsville
Kingsville's-
by far is the most organized.
I've heard nothing but good things about the
Okay,
Kingsville one.
but when you get there, you'll think that it's not organized, but go to the other ones, and then you'll be like, okay, I get what's going on here now.
Isn't it just a bunch of tables set up and then
it's a table. It's tables. They're bins, but they're about 1 foot deep, and with wood panels on the side, and then they have all their stuff in there.
so you just there's a
Could
bunch
be
of random
blankets, exactly, boxes. On the first day, you bring a knife. No, I'm not kidding. They'll cut something for you, but you have to cut your own stuff open to see what it is. It's like Christmas. The first day I was
like a
there,
surprise every day.
Dude, it was so awesome, man. I'm like, I was addicted right off the bat. I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
you never know what you're gonna get.
dude, just opening the box was cool, man. I was like, now it's like, I already know what this is, the size of the box. If it's got rods in it, I hear it fragile, I don't even look. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I do look because I've realized that they don't always package the stuff right back. So there's been stuff in there that I've seen that I've sold for quite a lot of stuff. Those magic keyboards that you use for these iPads that I have.
Yeah.
I've sold like 4 of those from there that I bought for like $10.
Nice.
What'd you sell
And
it for?
$200 each.
Jesus.
And then I sold two Tesla, what do you call it? Superchargers last weekend.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I paid $10 each, okay?
So is it brand new or is it
Those are brand new.
nice?
Brand new. They were overstocked. I don't
It
know.
makes you wonder how these people are making money on.
Dude, buddy from Windsor came, bought a Tesla from Quebec. Took him 30 hours to bring it back. It's 1 year old. And he goes, because he couldn't charge it, took him 8 hours to charge for some stupid reason. Now, I don't know anything about battery cars, okay?
Yeah.
All I know is I looked up how much this thing is worth. And it wasn't the Tesla brand. It was a different brand, a different company that would make it charge faster. Tesla doesn't even offer that. So I bought these. I'm like, $10 each. We'll see what happens. Guy calls me. I like 2 days after. I didn't think whatever. And I sold them. I'm like, you know what? Take both for 120 because he was barking over $50. I'm like, you know what? My margin is big on 120.
Yeah.
I paid 20 for both. Buddy texts me the next day and says, game changer. I'm like, oh, so I sold because they were worth almost $400. I'm like, I sold them way too cheap. So he felt guilty and he brought me a box of beer.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like, but I'm still making money.